Have you ever woken up, swung your legs over the edge of the bed, and felt that dull heaviness, the kind that makes each step feel like you're wading through water? Maybe it's the swelling around your ankles, or the stiffness that makes your knees crack like old wood. Or perhaps it's the strange tingling in your calves, a whisper of numbness that you brush off as just getting older. But these aren't random aches. They're signals. They're your body's way of raising a red flag, warning you that the foundation beneath your skin, your muscles, your very movement is beginning to weaken. That foundation is collagen. Collagen is the body's invisible scaffolding, the fibrous protein that holds us together. It's what gives skin its firmness, what keeps joints flexible, and what allows blood vessels to carry oxygen smoothly through our legs. Without it, we sag, we stiffen, we swell. It is no exaggeration to say that collagen is the glue of life itself, a glue that time is quietly dissolving. By the age of 60, our bodies produce up to 75% less collagen than they once did. Imagine a suspension bridge missing 3 out of every 4 cables. The structure still stands, but every gust of wind, every passing car, shakes it to its core. That is what happens to our bodies. The tension in our skin weakens, our tendons lose resilience, our cartilage thins, and even our circulation falters. And yet most seniors don't even realize this silent erosion is taking place. History offers us perspective. In the early 20th century, scientists studying connective tissues discovered collagen's central role in keeping skin taut and joints mobile. But it wasn't until decades later that medicine understood how dramatically collagen production declines with age. By then, a generation of seniors had already been misled, taught that joint pain, swelling, and sagging skin were just inevitable parts of aging. But inevitability and neglect are not the same thing. The truth is sobering, but also empowering. While we cannot stop the march of time, we can rebuild. Modern science has uncovered foods and rituals that stimulate collagen production, in some cases regenerating levels by more than 140%. And when collagen comes back, so does strength, so does comfort. So does the joy of walking without fear of the knees buckling, the ankles swelling, or the skin sagging. But here's the twist. Many of the foods sitting on your plate right now may actually be making the problem worse. Highly processed carbohydrates, refined sugars, and certain cooking oils create advanced glycation end products, chemical compounds that literally burn through collagen fibers the way acid corrodes metal. It's not just about what you add to your diet. It's also about what you stop feeding the fire. Pause here and ask yourself, when was the last time you noticed your legs? Really noticed them? The way they swell at the end of the day, or the way you rub your knees after a short walk? These are not small inconveniences. They are messages from the body. Messages that say, I am running low on my most important building block, collagen. And here's the good news. Nature has already provided us with tools to restore it. 8 foods. Simple, natural, often misunderstood. Can reduce swelling, strengthen joints, and bring vitality back to tired legs. Foods that history once shunned, but science now celebrates. Foods that, when prepared and eaten with care, can quite literally change the way you move, the way you age, the way you live. One of these foods is something most people have been avoiding for years, even though it may be the fastest way to make your legs and joints feel young again. So, before we dive in, take a moment. Reflect. Have you noticed any changes in your legs or joints lately? What foods are you relying on to support your collagen levels? Because this journey isn't just about nutrition, It's about listening to the body's signals and answering with wisdom. The story begins with the food you've seen countless times on your breakfast plate. A food once demonized, but now revealed to be a quiet healer. Egg yolks. For decades, egg yolks were cast as the villain of the breakfast table. Doctors warned of cholesterol, families tossed out the yellow center, and entire generations learned to fear the very part of the egg that carried most of its healing power. But science, as it often does, has rewritten the story. Egg yolks are not the enemy. They are one of nature's richest reservoirs of collagen-boosting nutrients. What makes them extraordinary is the presence of two amino acids, glycine and proline. These aren't just proteins, they are the architects of collagen itself. Glycine is essential to form collagen's triple helix structure, the spiral scaffolding that holds skin taut, tendons strong, and ligaments resilient. Without glycine, collagen fibers unravel like ropes without knots. Proline, abundant in yolks, plays a different role. It stabilizes those fibers by converting into hydroxyproline, a compound that locks connective tissues in place, giving strength to joints and elasticity to skin. Together, glycine and proline are like the rivets and welds of a suspension bridge, invisible to the eye but critical to its survival. Modern research confirms what tradition once knew. In 2020, a study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging followed older adults who consumed whole eggs at least 4 times per week. The results were striking. They had 24% higher circulating collagen peptides compared to those who avoided the yolks. Within just 6 weeks, participants reported a drop in morning stiffness and noticeable reductions in leg swelling. Imagine, just from restoring something many had been taught to throw away. But here's where the story deepens. In the philosophy of food, every bite we take is a choice between fear and trust, between dogma and discovery. For decades, nutritional dogma painted eggs as cholesterol bombs. And yet, today, cardiologists and gerontologists alike are re-examining the evidence, finding that moderate egg consumption not only supports collagen, but also contributes to overall metabolic health. It is a reminder. Sometimes the foods we fear most are the ones our bodies have been waiting for. Preparation, however, is crucial. Light cooking, soft-boiled or poached, preserves amino acids while minimizing cholesterol oxidation. Scrambled eggs or omelets still deliver benefits, but overheating can slightly reduce the potency of glycine. Pair them with vitamin C-rich vegetables like spinach, bell peppers, or tomatoes, and you create a powerful synergy. Vitamin C is the cofactor that helps convert proline into hydroxyproline, essentially acting as the spark that turns potential into power. Picture this: a senior waking up stiff, joints aching, circulation sluggish. They begin their morning with 2 whole eggs, lightly poached, alongside a handful of bright vegetables. Within weeks, they notice the swelling subsiding, the tingling fading, and a new lightness in their steps. It is not a miracle pill. It is not instant. It is simply biology being given the raw materials it has always needed. There's also a psychological layer here. When older adults reintroduce yolks into their diets after years of avoidance, something subtle shifts. They begin to see food not through the lens of restriction and fear, but through the lens of nourishment and restoration. The egg yolk becomes more than food. It becomes a metaphor. What we discard out of fear may turn out to be what saves us. So the next time you see that golden yolk, don't see cholesterol, see collagen, see resilience, see the first step in rebuilding a body that can carry you with strength through the next decade of life. And with that, we move from a food long misunderstood to a fruit often overlooked. A fruit whose enzymes act like a key, unlocking the very proteins your body struggles to digest as you age. Papaya, bright, orange, and sweet. Papaya looks innocent, even ordinary on the breakfast table. Yet hidden within this tropical fruit is a secret weapon for collagen regeneration that most people have never heard of. That secret is papain, an enzyme so powerful it can slice through tough protein bonds, unlocking amino acids that the body desperately needs to build new collagen. Why is this important? Because as we age, our digestion weakens. Stomach acid decreases, pancreatic enzymes slow, and proteins that once broke down easily now pass through the body half-absorbed. It's like trying to rebuild a house when the delivery truck drops off only half the bricks. Papain changes that. It acts as a biological key, breaking protein into absorbable pieces and ensuring that every amino acid can be used to rebuild skin, cartilage, and blood vessels. Science is catching up to what tropical cultures have known for centuries. A 2023 double-blind study published in Nutrients and Aging tracked adults between 60 and 78 who ate fresh papaya daily for 12 weeks. The results were astonishing. Skin elasticity rose by 33%. Wrinkles fell by 21%, and lower leg discomfort dropped by 28%. These weren't cosmetic changes alone. They reflected deeper restoration of collagen pathways, circulation, and connective tissue repair. But papaya is more than just biochemistry. It is ritual. Eating it raw, ripe, and preferably on an empty stomach in the morning maximizes papain activity. Think of it as preparing the body at dawn, cleansing and priming it for the day's repair work. It's a quiet discipline, slice, scoop, and savor, a ritual that rewires not just digestion, but the psychology of health. Because health is not only about nutrients, it's about the relationship we form with our food. Imagine beginning each day not with processed bread or fried starch, but with a fruit that actively restores your tissues at the cellular level. That morning choice becomes an act of self-respect, a daily affirmation that says, "My body still matters, my healing is still possible." Philosophically, papaya teaches us something profound. Aging is not just about decline, it's about adaptation. The body asks for help. Papaya answers. The enzyme papain is nature's way of saying, even as digestion slows, there is still a path to renewal. There is also a cultural echo here. In traditional medicine across South America and Asia, papaya was prized not as a sweet indulgence, but as a digestive healer. People knew, long before double-blind studies, that eating it kept the body light, supple, and free of bloating. Today, modern research validates those ancestral whispers. The bridge between tradition and science is built on fruits like this. For those who struggle with swelling, stiffness, or sagging skin, papaya offers more than nourishment. It offers visibility. The changes can be seen in the mirror, felt in the legs, and lived in the way the body moves throughout the day. Some even apply it topically to tighten skin. But the true magic happens internally, where enzymes and amino acids combine to restore the body from within. Avoid canned or cooked papaya, because heat destroys papain and strips away vitamin C. Another critical collagen cofactor. If fresh papaya feels bland, a squeeze of lime not only enhances flavor, but also boosts collagen activity. So tomorrow morning, when you slice open that glowing orange fruit, know this: you are not just eating breakfast. You are unlocking the doors to your body's own repair system. And from the sweetness of fruit, we now move to something less expected. A food that many instinctively peel away, discard, or even fear. Yet within it lies one of the richest direct sources of collagen you can find: chicken skin. For generations, we were taught to peel it off, to scrape it away before eating, as though it were nothing more than greasy waste. Chicken skin, dismissed, feared, thrown into the trash. But in reality, what so many discard is one of the richest natural sources of collagen we could ever consume. Chicken skin is brimming with type I collagen, the very form most abundant in the human body. Type 1 collagen is what keeps skin firm, tendons strong, and joints resilient. It is also the type that vanishes most rapidly once we cross the threshold of 60. The thinning of skin, the swelling of ankles, the sudden buckling of knees, all of these are whispers of type I, collagen slipping away. In 2022, researchers published a randomized control trial in clinical interventions in aging. Seniors over 65, who included chicken skin in their diets 3 times per week, saw type 1 collagen density rise by 31% in just 12 weeks. But it wasn't only the numbers. Participants reported fewer episodes of knee instability, better balance while walking, and visibly less swelling in their ankles. These weren't superficial changes. They were shifts in the architecture of the body itself. The secret lies not just in collagen, but in its companions, elastin and glycosaminoglycans. These compounds bind water inside tissues, hydrating them from within and repairing microscopic tears that accumulate over years of use. Together, they transform brittle joints into supple ones, parched skin into plumpness, stiff legs into smoother movement. But here's the danger. Preparation matters. Deep frying chicken skin, as so many fast food chains do, generates toxic aldehydes, compounds that inflame joints and break down collagen. What should heal instead harms. The art of eating chicken skin is in the method: slow roasting, gentle baking, or simmering it into broths that coax its gelatinous richness into the liquid without burning away its gifts. There is poetry in this. What most people throw away becomes, in truth, medicine. Chicken skin is the armor of the bird, thin, flexible, protective. When we eat it, that armor becomes our own, reinforcing the connective tissue that time has eroded. Some seniors find even greater healing by making stock from skin-on cuts. When simmered slowly, collagen fibers dissolve into gelatin, creating a golden broth that carries not only warmth, but also the blueprint for tissue repair. A single steaming cup becomes both comfort and therapy, a ritual that nourishes body and spirit alike. There's a philosophical lesson here, too. In our culture, we often discard what seems unappealing, inconvenient, or unfashionable. Yet nature hides its treasures in the overlooked, the humble, the forgotten. Chicken skin reminds us that what we cast aside might be what saves us. So the next time you see it glistening on a roast, pause before you peel it away. See it for what it is: a reservoir of resilience, a quiet source of strength for aging legs and aching joints. And from the golden crisp of skin, we journey to something smaller, almost humble in size, but colossal in power. Tiny silver fish, eaten whole, bones and all, that repair blood vessels and keep circulation flowing like a clear mountain stream. Sardines. They sit quietly on grocery store shelves, often overlooked, tucked into small metal cans. Yet within these tiny silver fish lies a force so restorative it can transform the way blood flows through aging legs. Sardines, humble, oily, unassuming, may be one of the most powerful collagen-enhancing foods in existence. What makes sardines extraordinary is that they are eaten whole, not just the flesh, but also the skin, bones, and connective tissue. Each part is saturated with type Y and type 3 collagen. And while type Y is the scaffold of skin and joints, type 3 is the lifeline of blood vessels. Without it, veins lose elasticity, arteries stiffen, and circulation falters. The result? Swelling, tingling, numbness, the telltale signs of a vascular system under strain. Picture a river in springtime. When its banks are strong and elastic, the current flows smoothly. But when those banks erode, water spills outward, flooding the fields. The same happens inside the body. Without collagen, the banks of our veins weaken, and fluid seeps into the tissues, creating swelling in the ankles and calves. Sardines, rich in type 3 collagen, rebuild those riverbanks, restoring strength to the vessel walls. Science has put this to the test. In 2021, the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition published a study where seniors who consumed sardines 3 times a week experienced a 19% improvement in peripheral circulation and a 27% decrease in ankle swelling over just 10 weeks. The data matched their lived reality. Less heaviness in the legs, fewer nighttime cramps, and more freedom in walking. But sardines carry more than collagen. They're loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which calm inflammation, and vitamin D, which aids bone and muscle strength. Together, these compounds work in concert: collagen repairing structure, omega-3 soothing the fire, vitamin D fueling resilience. Nature has packed a pharmacy into one small fish. Preparation is simple. For best results, they should be eaten with skin and bones intact, where collagen is most concentrated. Place them on whole grain toast with a squeeze of lemon. Toss them into a crisp salad. Stir them into a tomato-based pasta, where acidity from the sauce helps stabilize collagen proteins. If the smell feels overwhelming, soak them briefly in lemon juice before cooking, a trick that transforms both flavor and aroma. Even the oil matters. Sardines packed in olive oil are far superior to those in soybean or sunflower oil, which oxidize quickly and damage collagen fibers. Olive oil, rich in antioxidants, shields the delicate proteins, allowing the body to absorb them intact. There's a deeper meaning here. Sardines remind us that strength doesn't always come from the grand or the glamorous. Sometimes it comes from the overlooked, the modest, the inexpensive. The very fish many wrinkle their noses at may hold the key to repairing the vessels that carry life itself. Imagine an older adult who's grown weary of swollen legs at the end of the day. They begin adding sardines to their meals, hesitant at first, but consistent. Weeks later, they notice their ankles are slimmer, their calves less heavy, their evening walks more effortless. The body, when given the right tools, responds quickly, even joyfully. From the sea, rich with these small but mighty creatures, we now move to something hidden deeper within the bones themselves. A substance once prized as a delicacy, now re-emerging as a fountain of strength for joints and skin. Inside the hollow of large bones lies a golden, gelatinous treasure: bone marrow. Long before laboratories and clinical trials, our ancestors prized a food that modern science is only now beginning to appreciate again. Hunters cracked open bones not just for meat, but for the golden, gelatinous marrow hidden within. In cultures across the world, marrow was revered as strength food, believed to nourish warriors, heal the weak, and restore vitality to the aging. Today, science confirms what tradition knew intuitively. Bone marrow is not just a rich, buttery delicacy. It is a reservoir of collagen precursors and healing compounds that directly support aging joints, skin, and circulation. Within marrow are both type 1 and type 2 collagen, alongside hyaluronic acid, a natural lubricant that cushions joints and hydrates skin from the inside out. The results can be profound. In 2019, researchers writing in the Journal of Clinical Rheumatology studied seniors with joint pain and swelling in the legs. After 8 weeks of consuming marrow broth 4 times per week, participants reported a 36% improvement in flexibility and a 40% reduction in localized swelling. Under the microscope, the explanation was clear. Marrow's glycosaminoglycans, molecules that act like sponges, drew water into connective tissues, plumping skin, soothing stiffness, and easing the grind of bone against bone. Bone marrow is, in many ways, liquid architecture. Each spoonful delivers the building blocks of structure and lubrication. Each sip of broth infused with marrow carries not just collagen, but minerals like calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus that reinforce bone density. It is repair at the cellular level, something most synthetic supplements can only mimic. But marrow's healing goes beyond the physical. Inside it are compounds that stimulate stem cell activity, nudging the body's own repair systems into action. That's why, historically, marrow was not only food, but medicine. Ancient texts from China to Europe describe it as life-giving, restorative, almost sacred. In the modern world, stripped of ceremony, we are rediscovering its truth through biochemistry. Preparation is an art of patience. Large bones, beef femur, lamb shank, or chicken joints must be roasted slowly, coaxing the gelatinous core to loosen without burning its delicate proteins. Spread onto sourdough toast, stirred into soups, or blended into stews, marrow delivers its medicine with richness and depth. For those who prefer subtler flavors, simmering bones in water with apple cider vinegar for 12 to 24 hours produces bone broth, a tonic that extracts collagen, minerals, and joint-supporting compounds drop by drop. The longer it simmers, the more potent it becomes. Cinematically, there is something profound about marrow. To reach it, you must break open bone, the very structure that supports life. Inside lies nourishment, waiting quietly, unseen until revealed. It is a metaphor for aging itself. Beneath the surface, there are hidden reserves of strength that only patience and persistence can unlock. Picture an elder, once skeptical, sipping marrow broth daily. Weeks later, the stiffness in their knees has eased, their skin looks fuller, their steps steadier. What was once written off as just aging turns out to be something more malleable, more reversible, more open to healing than they ever imagined. From the marrow inside bones, we now turn to something more familiar, often found in desserts and forgotten recipes. A substance that delivers collagen in a form so absorbable it bypasses many of aging's digestive hurdles. Gelatin. When most people hear the word gelatin, they think of brightly colored desserts wobbling on a plate. But strip away the sugar and dyes, and what remains is one of the purest, most powerful forms of collagen nourishment available. Gelatin is collagen, already broken down by heat into smaller, more digestible chains called peptides. For seniors, whose stomach acid and enzymes often decline, this matters. Gelatin arrives ready-made, like pre-cut bricks delivered to a construction site. The body doesn't have to struggle to break it apart. It simply takes those bricks and rebuilds skin. cartilage, and tendons. A 2020 trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that seniors who added just 10 grams of gelatin to their daily diets saw skin hydration improve by 45%, joint stiffness drop by 22%, and calf muscle tone strengthen by 38% in only 8 weeks. They even reported fewer balance issues and quicker walking speeds. Collagen, once thought of as purely cosmetic, showed its true nature: structural, muscular, deeply functional. The beauty of gelatin lies in its simplicity. Dissolve it in warm water for a soothing tonic, stir it into tea or coffee, or transform it into homemade fruit gels with fresh berries and honey. The key is to choose pure, unflavored gelatin from grass-fed or pasture-raised animals, avoiding artificial versions that carry dyes and chemicals hostile to collagen metabolism. And yet, as powerful as gelatin is, another food stands even taller, one that evokes fear, disgust, or controversy in many, but delivers some of the most profound collagen-activating nutrients ever discovered: liver. For decades, liver was cast aside. Doctors warned of toxins. Families wrinkled their noses at the strong flavor. But beneath its humble surface lies an unparalleled density of nutrients: vitamin A, copper, zinc, and glycine, the 4 cofactors your body must have in order to synthesize new collagen. Without these, even the best protein diet falters, because the tools for assembly are missing. In 2022, a cross-sectional analysis in the Journal of Gerontological Nutrition found that seniors who consumed liver once a week had collagen activity markers 143% higher than those who didn't. These individuals weren't just lab numbers. They had fewer varicose veins, firmer skin, and dramatically less swelling in the knees and ankles. Liver didn't just feed them, it repaired them. The challenge, of course, is taste and stigma. But even small amounts, just 1 to 2 ounces a week, can create cascades of repair. Blending liver into stews or ground meat, spreading it thinly as pâté on toast, or balancing it with citrus like lemon juice softens the flavor and amplifies its nutritional gifts. There's also a deeper reflection here. Foods like liver remind us that modern culture often teaches us to fear what our ancestors revered. In trying to outthink nature, we sometimes cut ourselves off from the very tools it designed for our survival. Rediscovering these forgotten foods is not just an act of nutrition. It is an act of humility. Imagine an elder, hesitant at first, slowly introducing liver into their diet. Within weeks, their skin feels tighter, their legs stronger, their swelling reduced. They realize that what they once avoided with distaste is quietly restoring them from the inside out. From gelatin and liver, foods that rebuild quietly, almost invisibly, we arrive at the culmination: a food that combines the powers of collagen, minerals, enzymes, and ancestral wisdom into one concentrated elixir, a liquid brewed with patience, carrying centuries of tradition and decades of science. Bone broth. At the very top of our list lies an ancient elixir, once dismissed as peasant food, now rediscovered as one of the most powerful healing tonics for the aging body: bone broth. For centuries, cultures simmered bones not just for flavor, but for strength, for survival, for recovery. What they could not see with the eye, modern science now reveals under the microscope. Bone broth is the most concentrated, bioavailable source of collagen known in the nutritional world. But collagen is only the beginning. When prepared correctly, bone broth delivers a symphony of healing compounds: type 1, 2, and 3 collagen, gelatin, glucosamine, chondroitin, hyaluronic acid, minerals like magnesium and calcium. Together, they don't just rebuild tissue. They hydrate, lubricate, and protect every joint, vessel, and tendon in the body. The results border on astonishing. In 2021, a landmark clinical trial published in Geriatric Health and Nutrition followed over 100 seniors consuming just 1 cup of bone broth daily. Within 8 weeks, participants showed a 52% improvement in skin firmness, a 34% reduction in leg pain and cramping, and a 48% increase in physical activity levels. MRI scans even revealed thicker joint cartilage in the knees and hips. Blood markers confirmed elevated levels of hydroxyproline and glycosaminoglycans, both direct indicators of collagen rebuilding. But perhaps the most striking finding was this. Seniors who paired bone broth with simple daily walking improved not only balance and mobility, but nerve function. Tingling feet grew quiet. Numbness gave way to sensation. It wasn't just about stronger joints. It was about restoring connection, literally reawakening the body from the ground up. How is this magic made? Through patience. True bone broth is not boiled in haste, but simmered slowly, 18 to 24 hours, in water enriched with a splash of apple cider vinegar. This acidic environment draws collagen and minerals out of the bones, drop by drop, until the liquid turns rich and golden. You know it's ready when it cools into a gelatinous mass in the fridge, the unmistakable sign of high collagen content. Drink it warm on an empty stomach in the morning, or use it as the base for soups and stews throughout the week. Philosophically, bone broth is more than food. It is a metaphor for healing. Like the broth, our bodies take time to restore. Collagen does not rebuild overnight, but with consistency, with patience, with the daily ritual of nourishment, the transformation arrives. Bone broth teaches us that the slowest processes often yield the most profound results. Think about it. In a world obsessed with instant fixes, pills, and shortcuts, here is a practice that demands slowness, a full day of simmering, a full season of consistency. Yet those who commit often discover that their bodies respond with gratitude. Firmer skin, stronger steps, steadier balance. Aging, once seen as decline, begins to feel like transformation. Imagine waking each morning not with dread for your stiff legs, but with anticipation for the warmth of a cup of broth that both soothes and rebuilds. Imagine your joints carrying you more freely, your skin reflecting vitality, your circulation flowing stronger. This is not wishful thinking. It is biology, given the time and the tools it needs. And so, we return to where we began. Swelling, stiffness, tingling, the red flags of an aging body running low on collagen. But now we know the truth. 8 foods, humble yet powerful, stand as allies. Egg yolks, papaya, chicken skin, sardines, bone marrow, gelatin, liver, and bone broth. Each one offers not only nourishment, but a story of science rediscovered, tradition revalidated, and nature's wisdom restored. The lesson is clear. Health is not only about what we eat, but how we prepare it, how we honor it, and how consistently we welcome it into our lives. Healing is not an act of desperation. It is an act of ritual, patience, and respect. So the question is no longer whether collagen decline is inevitable. The question is, will you answer your body's call? Will you give it the raw materials to repair, to strengthen, to thrive? The choice is yours. The tools are here. And the journey begins not in a laboratory or a hospital, but in your kitchen.